everyone, I'm Shanshan. Today I'll show you how to buy Doo-Doo Duck. First, we take out the scissors and mark buckles in the material bag, set aside with that needle for later use. Then take out the crochet hook and this bright yellow thread. Let's crochet its head. This crochet hook is divided into two ends, big and small ends. Let's use this thin end. That is the end with 3 bars and zeros written to crochet. Well, his head is a ring-shaped needle. Start 8 short stitches. Okay, let me show you this. Pinch the thread with your right hand and wrap it around the index finger of your left hand. 2 turns and then put the thread over again. In this way, there are 3 coils on our index finger. We use the thumb and index finger of our right hand to pinch these 3 coils and take them off. Then wrap the thread around the little finger of your left hand. Then the index finger is lifted. Middle finger and thumb pinch these 3 coils. After pinching, we hold the crochet hook in our right hand. Everyone is like holding a pen, so they can come as comfortably as they feel. Use the small end to stretch through this ring. Then put this crochet hook on the right side of the thread. Press the bottom right, then go around from the top to the left. Hook it back. In this way, we have a loop on our crochet hook. Then the crochet hook is placed at the top left of the thread. Go around from below to the right. Then go back to the left from above. Hook this wire straight out of this coil. Then pull in the direction of your body. Then this ring will be tied. The standing needle that allows it to lift the needle in a ring shape is hooked. After hooking, let's hook 8 short needles. Let me show you the short needle. Reach through this ring. Place it at the bottom right of the line. Wrap from the top to the left side, and the left side brings it out. At this time, there are 2 loops on the crochet hook. Let's put the crochet hook at the top left of the thread, then go around from below to the right. Then go back to the left from above. Take it straight out of these 2 coils. In this way, we can hook it with a short needle. After you tick it, you can see that it has a corresponding V shape. Right here, I'm just going to show you. You see, this V is the short pair of corresponding braid stitches. Okay, so let's take out the mark buckle. In the first one, the braid needle here, only our first short needle. Have you seen the corresponding braid needle here? Make a mark buckle. In this way, we are done with a short stitch. Okay, let me show you the short needle again. Stretch through the loop. Put it on the lower right side of the thread. Wrap it back to the left side from the top and bring it out. There are 2 loops on the crochet hook. Then, the crochet hook is placed at the top left of the thread. Go around from below to the right. Then go back to the left from above. Bring it straight out of these 2 coils. Okay, so we have 2 short needles hooked. Well, short needle is a relatively basic needle method. You can recite it in advance. In this way, the little dolls you hook out will be much more even. Everyone can read it. I won't give you a detailed demonstration of the hooking method of the short needle later. Let's hook 8 in total. 3,
4, 5, new, 7,
VT. Okay. After the hook number, we can count 8 braids. To be relatively clear, this is better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey. After confirming that it is 8, we also put a mark on the 8th. That is the last braid. Then let's close this ring. Take a look, everyone. We have 2 coils here. A thread. Let's pull this thread first to see which coil is moving. Then pull it. See, this coil is moving. Then we will pull this coil in the same direction. The other coil will slowly become smaller until it disappears. After the meeting, let's tighten it a little bit. Then pull this thread. Then this coil will also disappear. In this way, our ring is closed. After you put it away, this ring is not very round, right? Because we haven't been extracted by the first needle yet. So when we do the ring, at the end of each lap, a let-out needle should be made for the first stitch. Okay, let's take off the first stitch, that is, the one that makes the mark buckle. Then stretch through this braid that makes the mark buckle. Reach to the bottom right of the line. Wrap back to the left side from above. Take it straight out. At this time, there are 2 loops on the crochet hook. Take the front one straight out of the back. This is a drawing needle. His ring is also closed more round. Well, the first lap is ready, and let's hook the second lap. Then at the end of each lap, we have to pull the first stitch. Then at the beginning of each turn, we have to set up a braid stitch as a standing stitch. Okay, how do you hook the braid needle? Let me show you. The crochet hook is placed at the top left of the thread. Go around from below to the right. He's circled back to the left from above. Take this wire straight out of this coil. Hey, this is a braid needle. Then we have to hook a braid stitch as a standing stitch at the beginning of each turn. Okay, then let's hook the second round. The second loop is 8 short needles plus needles. What does short needle plus needle mean? It's in every braid. Just in each of these V's, we hook 2 short stitches. Okay, our first needle is to be inserted at the position where we just pulled it out. Don't just miss this needle. It is the position of pulling it out. It is to hook the first stitch. Okay, let's hook a short needle. Then insert the needle in the same position, which is also half of that position. Hook another short stitch, so that a short stitch plus stitch is complete. After the hook is done, we have to do the first stitch. Make a mark buckle here. What about when we are new to crocheting? It must be in the first and last stitches and other important needles. Make a good mark buckle. Then let's go to the second one and hook a short needle and add needle.
1, 2,
Well, the third one is the same.
1, 2,
Then the fourth.
1, 2,
And then the fifth.
2,
Sixth.
2, 7, 1,
2. And then we come to the 8th, which is our last stitch. That just reaches the mark buckle here. Okay, take off the mark buckle and hook the last short needle and add the needle.
1.
After the hook is done, we still have to make a mark buckle on the last stitch. Well, let's hook it with 8 additional stitches in the second circle. You can also buckle along these 2 marks, right? Is the outermost count 16 braid stitches? Yeah. After the hook is done, we also have to make the first stitch. That is, the stitch that makes the mark buckle. Make an extraction needle. Okay, after the draw, let's hook the third round. Before 3 turns, you need to make a braid stitch as a standing stitch. Then the third circle is 8 groups. 1 short needle and 1 short needle plus needle. Okay, let's insert the needle in this position where we just pulled it out and hook the first one. Short needle. Yeah, after hooking it, it's the same. As the first stitch of the third circle, we also have to make a mark buckle. Then we hook a short stitch, and the next stitch we hook a short stitch and add a stitch. Next stitch, short stitch. Short needle plus needle. You put a needle in the same braid. And then what? Short needle? Short needle plus needle. The next stitch is a short stitch. Soft needle plus needle. Short needle. Short needle plus needle. We just add a short needle and a short needle plus needle like this. Hook all this circle. Short needle. Short needles plus needles. When we crochet, we hook and observe because When needles are added, the next braid will sometimes be blocked by half. Therefore, we should be able to identify it carefully and not be too anxious. Then we get the last stitch, that is the stitch to buckle, and we hook 1. Short needle plus needle. Insert a needle in the same braid. Okay, that's it. Third turn is hooked. The third hook is 24 stitches. Everyone can follow 2 braids and 2 mark buckles. Count if it's 24 stitches.
Well,
Then we still do the same thing about the first shot. That is to say, this position where the tie is to be buckled, let's do a pull out. After pulling it out, make a standing needle, then we crochet the 4th loop. In the 4th circle, it is hook 6 groups, 3 short stitches and 1 plus stitch. Okay, let's insert the needle in this position where we just pulled it out, hook the first short needle first, and then the same we have to give it. Make a mark buckle.
a short needle. 2,
3, then add a needle. Just hook 2 short stitches in the same braid.
One, 2, 3,
Then a needle. The next group.
1, 2, 3,
A needle.
three, 1 plus needle. Two, 3, 1 plus needle.
Then we came to the last group, that is the 6th group.
1, 2,
Miyoshi, the last one is added 1 by 1, which just reaches the mark buckle. Let's hook a short stitch and add stitches here. Insert a needle from a braid, hook 2 short needles. Then, the same way, make a mark buckle on the last stitch. So we're hooked on the 4th lap. After the 4th circle of hooking, there are 30 needles. You can also count along this braid. Then we remove the buckle, do a draw on the first needle here, then a standing needle. Its 5th turn is 2 short needles. 1 reduction stitch and 2 short stitches count as a group of 6 hooks. Okay, let's insert the needle at the extraction position. 1 short needle, make a mark buckle. A short needle, 2 short needles, then a needle. After adding needles, let's have another. Short needles, 2 short needles, so that even 1 is a group. In this way, we have to hook 6 groups.
1, 2, adding needle. 1,
2 good second group.
1, 2, adding needle. 1, 2 good, 3 groups. 1, 2, adding needle. 1, group 2 or 4. 1, 2,
Adding needle.
B. 2,
5 groups and then get the last group.
1, 2,
Adding needle. Alright, let's take off the mark buckle. Hook the last short stitch.
2,
After the hook is done, we have to do the same thing here in the last stitch. Make a mark buckle so our 5th lap is hooked. And then we'll crochet the 6th loop. In the 6th circle, it is hooking 6 groups, 5 short needles and 1 plus needle. Okay, let's take off the marker buckle. Do it for the first stitch. Pull, then a standing needle. Then insert the needle at the pulling position and hook the first short needle. It's the same. Let's make a mark buckle. Okay, let's crochet group 6. 5 short needles and 1 plus needle.
2,
3,
4, 5.
then add the needle.
2, 3, 4, 5. Add needles.
We just repeatedly hook 5 short stitches and add 1 additional stitch. Finish the circle. Then we came to the last group.
1, 2, 3, 4.
5. Then we came to the last stitch, that is the stitch we made the mark buckle. We remove the mark buckle, hook a short needle, adding needle. Just hook 2 short stitches in the same braid. Okay. After hooking, we'll also make a mark buckle on the last stitch. So, let's hook it on the 6th lap. The 6th circle is hooked. There are 42 stitches in total. You can also count 42 stitches along the outermost braid. Okay, after confirmation, let's make the 7th lap. Removing the cross buckle and pulling out the first needle. Then make a standing needle. The 7th lap is no add or subtract hook. 42 short needles are good. We insert the needles at the extraction position.
1,
Like a marker buckle.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
10. Let's talk about this circle. That's it. We put a short stitch in each braid until the circle is finished. You can also tick and count at the same time. Then we hook this circle without adding or subtracting. And the last stitch, we remove the marker buckle, hook a short needle, and then here in the last stitch, You should also make a mark buckle. After it's done, we make a hard pull on the first stitch. A standing needle. Okay, let's make the 8th turn. Because our 80, 90, 12th, what about the next 5 laps? It's all the same as the 7th lap, and it's all like this without adding or subtracting hooks. 42 short needles, so I won't show you a demonstration here. Okay, after the 12th lap is hooked, we can count along this circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. Okay, that's 12 laps. Then you can also count 42 stitches along the outer braid. After confirming that it is correct, let's hook his 13th lap. This thread, let's just cut it off. Then just leave a little and put it in, because the inside itself is fortress cotton. Then let's hook the 13th round. 13 circles, it is 6 groups of hooks, 5 short stitches and 1 reduction stitch. Okay, let me show you. Still insert the needle at the position just pulled out, hook the first short needle, and then here in the first stitch, sit on the mark buckle.
1, 3, 4,
5 half. After 5 short stitches, let's hook a minus stitch. Let me show you how to reduce needles. Then take a look at the ordinary short needles we usually hook. Is it right to hook a short target in a braid? If you hook and add the needle, it is in a hook 2 short needles in the braid. Then we reduce stitches, that is, hook a short stitch in 1 or 2 braids. How to hook it? Let me show you a demonstration. This braid is a braid on the left. It has 2 braids. Look at one on the left and one on the right, forming a V shape. What about us just picking up a single root? See, it's the half that's close to us. Then the next needle is also to provoke the half that is close to the person. Hey, let's pick up these 2 braids.
Okay, let's show you.
Okay, reduce the needle. Pick up the outer half of the braid of the next stitch. Then the outer root of the lower needle is lowered, and the outer half of the braid is lowered. Then wind the wire and hook it out. The method of winding the thread is the same as hooking the short stitch. This is the reduction of needles.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5. Then the reduction stitch picks up the outer half stitch of the next 2 braid stitches.
Okay.
Outer half needle. Outer half needle, winding tape out, winding tape out.
One, 2, 3, 4,
5. Then reduce the needle. Outer half needle. Outer half needle, winding tape out, winding tape out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then a reduction needle. Outer half needle, outer half needle. In fact, it is equivalent to choosing a different position.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, and then another reduction needle. Pick up the outer half of the needle, and the next outer half of the needle is wrapped out, and the next half of the needle is wrapped out, and the next half of the needle is wrapped out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 2 braids left. We remove the mark buckle, hook the last reduction needle.
Outer half needle.
Outer half needle, winding tape out, winding tape out. And then, again, we have to do the first shot. Make a...
Draw and pull.
Then, take a shot. It's called a buckle here, and it's called a buckle at the last stitch. It's also necessary to do it. We novices must not forget to make glue ports when purchasing them. Okay, so we're hooked on the 13th lap. What about the 14th lap? It's hook 6 groups, 2 short needles, 1 reducing needle, 2 short needles. Hook 6 groups like this. Okay, let's insert the needle at the extraction position, hook the first short stitch. After it's hooked, it's still the same. We're going to make a mark buckle.
1, 2,
Then a reduction needle. Okay, the outer half. Reduce the needle and then.
1, 2,
This is one group. We repeat the hook 6 groups.
1, 2,
Reducing needles.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Reducing needles.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Reducing needles.
1, 2, 3, 4. Reducing needles. 1, 3, 4,
Reducing needles. And then there are the last 2 short needles.
1,
Okay, last shot. Just come to the position where the mark buckle is made. Take off the mark buckle. Hook a short needle. After hooking it, you have to buckle the mark back in the same way. And then, for the first shot, that is, the stitch to be buckled when making the tie, make a,
draw and pull.
and then a standing needle. So, we'll hook it on the 15th, 15th, and 4th lap. After hooking, let's hook to the 15th lap. Where's the 15th lap? It's hook 6 sets. 3 short stitches and 1 minus stitch. Okay, let's still insert the needle at this position of extraction. Hook the first short needle. Then what about the first shot?
Make a mark buckle. 2,
3, then a reduction needle.
1, 2,
3, a reduction needle.
1, 2, 3,
A reduction needle.
1, 2,
A reduction needle.
1, 2,
A reduction needle.
2,
Miyoshi and the last 2 stitches. Let's hook the last reduction needle and remove the mark buckle. A reduction needle. Then the same way, make a mark buckle on the last stitch. Well, we'll be hooked on the 15th lap. After the hook is done, we are the same right.
make a first stitch.
pull, then a standing needle. So here we go, we can take out the cotton in the bag of materials. Stuff it up. Because we will close the next lap. If he closes a circle, his mouth will be very small, which is not very good. It's just cotton stuffing, so we can get a lap ahead of time. That is, stuff the cotton right here on the 15th lap. Stuffing cotton is based on personal preference, just say if you like that. If it's hard and bulging to the touch, then you can stuff more cotton. If you like the softer kind, you can stuff it less and stuff it less. It doesn't matter, just according to your own personal hobbies. Yeah. After stuffing the cotton, let's keep the cotton from leaking out. Because hey, if there are too many words, the cotton may be hooked by then. It's very troublesome to hook the cotton and sort it out. After we sort it out, let's hook the 16th lap, that is the last lap. What about the last circle? It is a short needle. Let's hook 6 groups like this. It's better to insert the needle in the position just pulled out first. We can put this middle finger on the back when we hook. Just avoid hooking cotton, a short needle. A reduction needle. A short needle is a set. A short needle. A reduction needle. A short needle. 2 groups. A short needle. A reduction needle. Three sets of 1 short needle. Soft needle.
Needle reduction.
Short needle.
4 groups. Short needle.
Needle reduction. 5 sets of short needles. Then we came to the last group. A short needle.
1.
Reducing needles?
Then remove that last short pin of the suspender hook. Oh, the first stitch is not marked. Then I can identify for myself which one is the first stitch here. But our novice friends must be in. The first stitch and the last stitch have been otherwise important. Make a mark buckle on the needle eye. Don't forget to make the mark buckle like I just did. Then in this way, if we hook it for 16 laps, we will directly disconnect the line. Pull this thread out. This cotton stuff just right. Then take out the needle in the material bag. We all have this plastic needle in our material bag. This plastic needle, because I'm used to using steel needles, so I'll use steel needles to show you. Thread this thread through. Then take a look at this thread. This stitch we just pulled from the thread. Put it back from the outside to the inside. Hey, pull it tight. Pull it tighter, and then let's hide this thread. Because there's cotton in it, we may not hide it well. I just thread a few stitches along this braid needle to the left and right. 3 or 4 stitches along the needles of this braid. And then wear it inside. That's it. Wear it inside. Let me see. Wear it inside near this pull-out position. Wear a stitch. Don't pull too tightly. And then again like this. Turn a stitch. Ha. Then you can disconnect the line. Now cut it. If there are small threads exposed, we can use this to press him. In this way, the head of our doo-doo duck is crocheted. Next, we still use this yellow thread to crochet the body of Doo-Doo Duck. What about its body? Its first 4 turns follow. The first 4 turns of the head are identical. Then I won't repeat the demonstration here. It's like this when you hook it. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after 4 hooks. It's 30 stitches in total. You can count it along the braid. After the 4 hooks are done, let's hook the 5th hook. It's still the same. Do a draw on the first needle. Then make a standing needle. In the 5th circle, it hooks 30 short stitches without adding or subtracting. That is to say, we have to hook a short stitch in every braid. Okay, let's insert the needle at the pull-out position. Hook the first short needle, then make a mark buckle. Two,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
16,
17, 18, 19, 20. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 24, 25,
26,
27.
All right. 29, then the last stitch. That is the stitch that makes the mark buckle. We take it off. Tick the last one. Short needle. So let's hook the 5th circle without adding or subtracting. After hooking, we also have to pull out the first needle. Then make a standing needle. Let's hook the 6th circle again, because the next 60, 78, 91. There are 6 laps in total, and they are all adding or subtracting. Hook 30 short stitches, exactly the same as the 5th loop. So here I won't give you a demonstration. Everyone can crochet it yourself. Don't add or subtract until you finish hooking the 11th lap. After the hook is done, let's count the laps as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then you can also count the braid stitches along this mark. Is his needle mesh 30 stitches? After confirming that it is correct, let's prepare for the 12th round of the hook. Okay, we're going to do the same first shot. Pull the shoes up tightly. Then make a standing needle. What about its 12th turn? It is to hook a short needle first. Okay, let's insert the needle at the extraction position. Hook a short stitch, and then here in the first stitch. Make a mark buckle. After hooking a short needle, hook 4 sets of 5 short needles and 1 reduction needle. Okay, let's put the second needle in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then hook a reduction needle. Pick up the outer half of the needle, picking up the outer half of the next needle, winding the thread and bringing it out. So it's a group.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then a reduction needle. 2 groups.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Needle reduction.
3 groups, and then there's 1 last group.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Then a reduction needle. 4 groups. After hooking it, we finally hook a short needle. Hey, it happens to be the location where this buckle mark is buckled. We hook the last short stitch. After the tick is done, we will buckle the mark back as well. Then do a draw on the first needle. I didn't buckle the first stitch properly just now and it fell off. Pull and then make a standing needle. In this way, the 12th lap will be hooked. Then we make the 13th hook. 13 rounds it hooks a short needle first. The same way we hook the first short needle at the pulling position. After a short needle is hooked, we hook 4 groups. 2 short needles, 1 reduced needle, and 2
needle reduction.
1, 2 good, first group. 1, 2, needle reduction. 1, 2,
2 groups.
1, needle reduction.
1,
Group 2 or 3. Needle reduction.
E. 2 good 4 teams, 4 teams. After the hook, we finally hook a short needle. This is the position where we do the deduction. We remove the last short needle. Then, we'll buckle the mark back. Well, we'll be hooked on the 13th lap. The 13th lap is ready. Let's hook his 14th lap. Okay, remove the mark buckle the same way. Make an extraction needle. Then a standing needle. On the 14th lap, it also hooks a short needle first. We hook a short needle at the extraction position. Then make a mark buckle. Next, let's hook 4 groups. 3 short needles, 1 reduced needle.
1, 2, 3. Needle reduction. 1, 2, 3. Needle reduction. 1, 2, 3.
Then what about the reduction of the needle?
One. Needle reduction.
Okay, after the 4 sets of hooks, our last stitch, that is the stitch that makes the mark buckle, we make a short stitch. So after the 14th hook, we're still the same. After the last stitch is hooked, do a draw on the first stitch here. So our beat pressed. His body is hooked. We leave 25 centimeters of thread here. Left and right, then pull it out. Disconnect it, hey! Then stuff it with cotton. Save this thread for us to stitch. We stuffed it with cotton. Okay, let's fill it with cotton. In this way, Dudu Duck's body is ready, leaving the thread for later use. Next, we crochet the wings of the ducklings with yellow thread. His wings are also a ring-shaped needle. We pinch the thread with our right hand. Wrap the thread twice on the index finger of your left hand. Put the thread over, then pinch it with the thumb and index finger of your right hand. Then, like the left hand, the little finger is wrapped around and the index finger is lifted up. Hold the coil with your middle finger and thumb. The crochet hook stretches through this loop. Wrap the thread and then hook a braid needle. Lock it up. Then his first turn was 7 short stitches.
Crochet over. 1.
Second good, it's still the same. We are in important frames. Both the first frame and the last frame need to be marked and buckled.
Mountain. 4. 5. 6. 7 good.
After the tick is finished, we can count whether it is 7 or not. 1 pair of 2 pairs, 3.5 pairs, okay, 7. Then we have to mark the last stitch too. Then let's close this ring. It's still the same, 2 coils and 1 thread. We pull the thread, see which coil is moving. He's moving, then pull the coil in the same direction as the wire end until the other coil disappears. Then pull this thread again. Such a ring is put away. After putting it away, we hooked it on the first lap. A circle of hooks is good or the same. The first needle should be pulled out. After stretching it out, do we see this thread? Put it on the crochet hook. Put it on the crochet hook to hide the thread. Take it out by winding. Take it out directly. Then hook a standing pin. Next, its second circle is 7 short needles plus needles. That is, hook 2 short needles in the same position. Okay, let's insert the needle at the extraction position. 1, okay, still insert the needle at this position. 2, and then the first stitch is the same. To make a mark buckle, two needles,
1.
2.
3 needles. Every time we hook, this thread has to be pressed on the crochet hook.
1. 2.
2. Okay, the last needle, the 7th needle. We remove the mark buckle. Hook the last additional stitch in this braid. After the hook is done, we have to be here at the last stitch.
Do the hand-in buckle.
Then take off the mark buckle of the first stitch and pull him out. At this time, our thread can leave him alone. After the draw, let's hook the third round. The third circle consists of 7 groups, 1 short stitch and 1 extra stitch. Stand up the needle and hook the first short needle at the position just pulled out. Put on the mark buckle. Then hook an additional stitch with the second stitch. Sew a braid into the needle. Short needle. Soft needle plus needle. Short needle. Short needles add needles. Hook 7 groups in this cycle. Hook this set of hooks to finish this circle.
1. Adding needle. Soft needle.
Add needles. Soft needle. Adding needle. Okay, last group. Hook a short needle, and then remove the mark buckle. Hook a short stitch in the last stitch and add stitches. So the third lap is finished. After the third hook, it has 21 stitches in total. You can count along this braid. Then let's take off the mark buckle of the first stitch. Do a draw on it. After twisting, we'll leave a long thread. About 25 centimeters. Cut it off. After cutting it off, pull the thread out. Then this thread on the opposite side, it has pressed me very tightly. We can just stick it directly and cut it off. Then, when we got to this position, we took out the needle in the material bag. I'm still going to give you a demonstration of using a steel needle here. Put the thread through it. After we pass through, let's put this. Fold it in half, see? Fold it in half. Fold it in half. Then let's use this needle. Pick the one with braids on both sides. In a half needle. His whole pigtail, you see a pigtail, didn't you? We have the outer half stitch, we pick the inner half stitch. Here we also pick the inner half needle. See, we stitched it up, just like this, half inner stitch, half inner stitch. Sew it into a semicircle. It looks like a little wing. Well, sew him back and forth. Until you sew it up. So we have to make 2 of these little wings. Hey. Keep all the threads and use them for later use. After it's done, let's take out the pink thread. The pink thread in our material bag to crochet a duckling's cheek. His cheeks are ring-shaped. Start 8 short stitches. Okay. Pinch the thread with your right hand and wrap the thread twice on the index finger of your left hand. Put the thread over. Then pinch all 3 threads with the index finger and thumb of your right hand. Then the little finger of the left hand is wrapped around the thread. The index finger is raised. The middle finger and thumb are pinched. Then the crochet hook stretches over, hooked over. The winding hook came out and locked. Then we hook 8 short needles.
1,
2,
3. Oh, we need to make a good mark buckle. Don't forget that novices must make mark buckles. In that first and last stitch, as well as other important needles.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Fate. Okay, let's count, right? 1 pair of 2, 3 pair of 4. Okay. After it's correct, we still mark it on the last stitch. Buckle. Then let's close this ring. Or 2 coils and 1 thread. We pull this thread. See which coil is moving. Then find him and pull this moving thread in the same direction. Pull him. Until the other thread coil disappears. After disappearing, we still pull this thread. In this way, the ring is closed. After putting it away, let's make the first stitch. Just make the stitch of the mark buckle and make a pull. At this time, it is still necessary to put this thread. Put on the crochet hook. Pull out, then stand up the needle. What about the second circle of his cheek is 8 short stitches plus stitches. Okay, let's insert the needle at the extraction position. This thread has to be placed on the crochet hook all the time.
1, 2,
A short needle plus needle. 2 short needles plus needles. Okay, we've got 4 short stitches, so let's start the first stitch.
make a mark buckle.
This whole circle, we're going to put this this thread. Put it on top of the crochet hook to hide it, then put it on.
3.
Chapter 6.
6.
Okay, let's come to the 8th stitch, that is, the stitch that makes the mark buckle. Let's hook the last short stitch and add a stitch. Just hook 2 in the same braid. Short needle.
Okay.
After it's hooked, we'll take off the mark buckle. Do a draw on the first needle. This needle pulls out our thread, so don't press it up, lest it come out to the edge. Well, after pulling out, we can break the thread by leaving about 10 centimeters. Take it out after disconnecting the line. The needle's in our material package. Then take a look. This is the first target we just introduced. Is it wrong? Let's go from this first stitch to the opposite side. Pull it tightly. It's a very round one. Then along the horizontal line on the back of this. Thread in the middle.
Hey.
Let's not pull this edge askew when wearing it. Then follow a horizontal line to the middle. Then we can follow the needle in the first circle.
Here.
Just wear a stitch or two. Then let's sort it out and don't stretch it out of shape. That way his cheeks are hooked. After hooking it, we directly put this line. Cut it. In this way his cheek will be hooked. What about such little cheeks? We have to crochet 2 too. Next, we take out this orange-red thread from the material bag to crochet his mouth. His mouth is a ring with 12 medium-length needles. Okay, so let me show you. Pinch the thread with your right hand and wrap the thread twice on the index finger of your left hand. Then put the thread over. So there are 3 coils. We pinch 3 coils with the thumb and index finger of our right hand. Take them off. Then the little finger of your left hand circles around your heart. Index finger lift, middle finger and thumb pinch the coil. Then stretch this crochet hook through the loop to the bottom right of the line. Wrap it back from the top to the left to bring it out. There is a loop on the crochet hook, and then the crochet is now at the top left of the thread. Then go around from below to the right. Wrap back to the left from above. Take this wire directly out of this coil. Then pull it tightly so that the ring-shaped needle is ready. And then, because we're crocheting 12 medium-length needles, then we still have to hook a braid stitch here, winding the thread and bringing it out. Hey, so let's start the standing stitch with 2 braid needles. Then we hook the medium and long needles. Let me show you the medium and long needles. First, place the crochet hook at the top left of the thread. Then go back to the right from below. Then go back to the left from above. So there are 2 loops on the crochet hook. Then it stretches through this ring to the bottom right of the line. Go around from the top to the top left, then bring it out. At this time, there are already 3 loops on the crochet hook. Then we crochet the top left of the thread. Go around from below to the right, then go around from the top to the left. Take this line directly from... These 3 coils are hooked out at once. In this way, one of our medium and long needles will be hooked. After hooking it, he also has a corresponding braid needle. See? Here it is. Hey, let's mark it and buckle it. Okay, put the crochet hook in. In this way, we can hook it with a medium and long needle. Okay, let's show you again. Winding. Reach out of your arms. There are 3 coils for the winding tape out. Winding the wire. Take out 2 long needles at one time. Winding the wire again. Stretch over, wind and bring out. Winding 3 coils and bringing them out directly. In this way, we hooked 3 medium and long needles. What about this medium length needle? We need to hook 12 needles, 3 in total. After that, I will crochet at normal speed.
New. She. Nine. Then 11. Easy.
Okay, let's see if it's 12 braids. 1 pairs of 2, 3 pairs of 4 pairs of 5 pairs of 6 pairs of 3 pairs of 4 pairs of 5 pairs of 6 pairs. Okay, 6 pairs, no problem. Then let's close this ring. Still the same, 1 thread end and 2 coils. Let's pull this thread first, see which coil is moving. Then we'll pull which coil, then pull him in the same direction. Just like the thread. Pull him in the same direction. It wasn't until he put the other. The ring disappears and then we will pull the thread again. Then the other coil will disappear too. After hooking it, similarly we have to do the first stitch, which is the stitch that we marked the buckle on. Make a
Draw and pull.
After pulling, let's leave a little thread. Leave it about 20 centimeters. Leave a little thread to break it. Then I took out the needle in the material bag. It's better for everyone to use that plastic needle. I am used to using the steel needle myself.
Wear it in.
After wearing it, let's put this. Let me show you. This side is positive. Look at it, everyone. This side is the front. This side is the opposite side. We're facing the opposite side in. Hey, fold it in half like this. It's folded in half. Let's sew it up. But please pay attention to sewing, everyone. We only need 1 stitch. Hey, look at the 2 on the edge and see that there are no braids. Take it for a moment. Okay. Sew it again. Sew it firmly. Okay, sew it after sewing it. Along this, put it on, then put it on. Through this hole again. Come on, go to the other side. See that there is no such position. Hey, go to the other side, we do it the same way. Put this corner of your mouth. It's the corner of this little duck's mouth. We're going to sew it up. Just make it feel flat. Lock it a little from the side. Lock it a little, just look at the mouth of a duckling like this. Okay, after that, let's put this thread. Put it on. We can be a little symmetrical on both sides. Hey, wear it inside. After wearing it inside, we run the thread along the mesh of this medium length needle. Put it on just 2 or 3 stitches will do. Then tighten it up, put the thread.
Break.
What about the other thread in the same way? Thread the thread. And then in this, inside the mouth along the way, grow a stitch or 2. Direct disconnection. Let's take a look. So this duckling's mouth, that's it. The 2 sides are pointed and flattened by crushing. Do you see it? His mouth is finished crocheting. We set it aside for later use. Then, still crocheting the duck's horns with orange thread. It is also a ring-shaped needle. Okay, let's pinch the thread with our right hand. Wrap the thread twice on the index finger of your left hand. Then put the thread over. There are 3 coils. Hold the coils with the thumb and index finger of your right hand and take them off. Then, the little finger of the left hand is wrapped around. Pick up the index finger, hold the coil with the middle finger and thumb. Stick the crochet hook through this loop. This makes you more skilled. It's already fine. Then the winding handle is brought out. Hook another braid needle and lock it. Yeah. After locking it, its first turn is 6 short stitches. Okay, stretch the crochet hook.
1, 2,
Okay, 2 needles are ready. We are the same. We have to take the first shot. We newbies must pay attention to making handover buckles in important needles. 2 injections already. 3, 4,
5,
6. Good. Let's see if it's 6 braid stitches. 1 against 2 against 3. Yeah. Okay. So let's make a mark buckle here on the last stitch. Then let's close this ring. It's still the same. There are 2 coils and 1 thread end. Okay, let's pull this thread first. Okay, let's look at the pull end and see which coil is moving. Okay, this coil is in the middle. So let's pull this coil in the same direction until the other coil disappears. Then we pull this thread. The remaining coil will also disappear. The pull is a bit tight. In this way, our ring will be put away. After closing the ring, we are still the same. To the first stitch. Make a lead and pull, stretch the crochet needle through it. At this time, we have to put this thread, put it on the crochet hook and hide it. Wound carry out. The front loop, bring it out from the back thread, and then make a standing needle. Its second circle is 6 additional stitches. Then we insert the needle in this needle that we are pulling out. Winding substitution. Good. Once around the same position, insert the needle and hook a short needle. Such a short stitch plus stitch is done. Then we should also make a mark buckle on the first stitch. Okay, this is the first short needle plus needle. Let's hook the second needle. Still the same thread needs to be placed on the crochet hook.
1,
Okay, same location.
2,
Next stitch.
1, 2,
Re-needle.
1, 2,
Okay, then the 5th shot. The thread has been pressed on it.
1,
Second, well, come to the last stitch, we take off the mark buckle. Reach out, press the thread up. Second, so we will hook the second lap. It's the same. Put a mark buckle on the last stitch here. After the mark is buckled, you can follow this peripheral braid. Look at 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 4, 3, exactly 12 stitches. Then let's get the first shot. Do a draw. After pulling out, hook a standing needle. Then let's hook the third circle of the small corner, which is the most. In the latter circle, it hooks 12 short needles. Then we insert the needle at the pulling position and hook the first short needle. Then make a mark buckle. We have to hook a short stitch in each of the remaining braids. 2,
3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9,
11. Okay, remove the mark buckle with the last stitch. Seam. Then make a tail to the first stitch. After screwing and pulling, we leave a long line between 25 times and 30 centimeters. Pull this thread out. and then the other thread. The side where the thread is on is the opposite side. Our thread has been pressed once, so let's directly put it.
Cut off.
After cutting it off, turn it over. See? This is outside. Turn outside to outside. And then take it out. The needles in our material package. I still use steel needles to demonstrate here. Put this line. Go through. Then fold it in half and stitch it up. It's kind of similar to the way that the wings do. I'm still. It's all the same. Let's pick up the inner half of this braid. Just stay away from our half needle. He is taller. Please fold it in half like this. His one is taller.
Sew it.
After the stitching is done like this, just leave it for later use. We have to hook 2 such corners. Next, we took out the green thread in the material bag to crochet the swim ring part. The swimming ring looks like a little frog. Let's crochet the eyes of the little frog first. Well, it's still the same, it's looped up. Pinch the thread with your right hand and wrap it twice on the index finger of your left hand. Put the thread over. There are 3 coils. Pinch these 3 coils with your right hand and take them off. Then the left hand is wound, index finger raised, middle finger and thumb pinched. It is a ring shape with 4 short needles. Okay, let's stretch the crochet hook over and wrap the ribbon thicker than a braid pin lock. Live. After shrinking, we hook 4 short needles.
1, 3, 4.
Everyone, take a look. These are 4 short needles. What about us novices? We still have to take the first shot. And the last stitch is marked here. After the mark buckle is finished, let's close the ring. The method is the same. Pull this thread. See which coil is moving. We will pull whichever coil. Hey, then pull this thread again and put it away. After collecting it, we also pull out the first needle. We remove the mark buckle. The first needle is pulled out. After stretching it out, let's put this thread on the crochet hook and press it and bring it out. Then a locking pin. The second circle of the frog is 4 needles. Okay, we're in the position where we just pulled it out. Insert the needle.
1, 2,
Then it's a short stitch plus a stitch. And we're also here at the last stitch. Not here at the first stitch, make a mark buckle.
that
Second needle. Also add needles. Third needle. Each stitch we put this thread above the crochet hook to make a long thread.
Okay.
For the last stitch, we remove the marker buckle. Put the thread on too. Hook the last short needle and add the needle. After hooking, we pull the first needle and remove the rubber buckle. Stretch over.
Draw and pull.
After pulling it out, we can break this thread directly. Because we've already pressed a lap, then just leave this thread for 10 centimeters. Take it out, and then everyone will have a look. This is the opposite side. Focus on it. Hey, this is the opposite side. Then on this side, you can see the pattern is very clear, and the middle one is the front. We're facing out. Then take out the needle in the material bag.
Go through.
and then fold it in half as well. Fold it in half. Stitch it up. So do we. Those who choose him choose the inner half of the needle. The inner half of the needle. After the stitching is done, let's put the needle from the inside. Turn it over and hide this thread. Just give him another needle. Just disconnect the line directly. Take a look, everyone. In this way, our frog's eyes will be hooked. What about such eyes? We need to hook 2 for spare. Then continue to crochet the frog's head with this green thread. It is a ring-shaped method of starting 6 short needles. Okay, pinch the thread with your right hand, wrap it around your left index finger twice, put the thread over, then take this coil off with your right thumb and index finger. The little finger of the left hand is wound, the index finger is lifted, and the middle finger and thumb are pinched. Then the crochet hook stretches over. After the winding tape comes out and the winding is locked, let's hook 6 short needles.
1,
It's the same thing. We need to make a mark buckle on the first stitch.
2, 3, 4, 5,
6. After the 6 stitches are hooked, we're going to do the 6th stitch. Make a mark here too. Then use the same method to close the ring. Pull the thread end which coil is moving. We will pull the coil in the same direction. The other coil will disappear. When it's completely gone, we'll pull this thread again. So our rings are closed. After putting it away, come over with the thread. We do the same for the first stitch, that is the stitch that makes the mark buckle. Do a drop. What about this thread? When it is pulled out, you can hide this thread or not. It doesn't matter because this one is filled with cotton. It's not very important. Pull and then hook a standing needle. Next, let's hook the second lap. In the second circle, 6 short needles are added, and the needles are inserted at the pulling position. Hook a needle.
1,
Insert the needle in different positions.
2,
After the hook is finished, we are in the first stitch. On the braid, make a mark buckle. That. We add needles to finish it one by one. Then the same goes for the second shot.
1,
Insert the needle back to the tail.
2,
Third needle. Add needles. Fourth needle. Add needles. Fifth stitch. Add stitches. When we come to the 6th stitch, we take off the mark buckle.
hook,
1 plus needle. After hooking it, then we finish hooking it in the second lap. We also mark the last stitch. And then what about the first stitch? Do a draw. Then a standing needle. In this way, we will hook it in 2 circles. His third lap is 6 groups, 1 short needle and 1 short needle plus needle. Hello! We insert the first short needle in the needle hook at the pulling position. After the hook is finished, we are the same. Put a mark buckle on him. Then the second stitch is a short stitch plus a stitch. Insert the needle at the same position. Then short needle. Short needle plus needle. Horizontal back short needle. Short needle plus needle. Short needle. Short needle plus needle. Short needle. Short needle plus needle. Short needle. Okay, take off the mark buckle. Let's hook the last short pin and add the pin.
1, 2,
Okay, let's make a mark buckle. Next, let's do the same for the first frame.
draw and pull,
A standing pin to hook the fourth row. That's because the fourth row, the fifth row, the sixth row, the next 3 rows, just hook 18 short stitches without adding or subtracting. It is equivalent to hooking a short needle in every braid. We need to hook the short needle 3 times. Well, there is no change here because of the 3 circles of short needle. I won't demonstrate it to you. The only thing everyone should pay attention to is that after each lap, the first needle must be pulled out, then do another stitch and then start the next lap. And then the first stitch in the next lap is at this position of pulling out. In this way, let's hook 3 times without adding or subtracting. Here, no add, no subtract. After the hook, we can count the laps. Look from the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you can also follow 2. Mark buckle. Hey, count if there are 18 stitches in this circle. Okay, what about this thread? We can cut it off. Just leave a little and stuff it in. Okay, here we go. 10. After the 6th circle is hooked, we take off the cross buckle and adjust the first stitch. Do a pull and then a standing needle to hook the 7th turn of the frog's head. It was also his last lap. He is hooking 6 groups, 1 short stitch and 1 reduced stitch. Okay, we're at the position where we just pulled it out, hooked the first short needle, and then, as usual, here in the first shot, make a mark buckle, and then check another tick. Reducing needles. The next one is another short needle. As I mentioned earlier about needle reduction, we all picked up the outer half needle. Pick up the outer half needle and hook the reduction needle. And then another short needle. A reduction needle. A short needle. A reduction needle. A short needle. A reduction needle, then a short needle. With the last 2 braids left, we removed the marker buckle. To tick the last reduction stitch, after hooking it, we do the same. Take off the mark buckle of the first stitch, do it to it.
draw and pull,
After pulling it out, we can leave about 25 centimeters of the wire and break it. So let's stuff some cotton in this frog head. Then his frog head is finished. We keep this thread for spare use, and we will use it for stitching when the time comes. Next, we still crochet the swim ring with green thread. Okay, let's pinch the thread with our right hand. Take a circle around the little finger of your left hand. Pick up the index finger, the middle finger and thumb to hold the coil. What about this swimming ring? It's a straight needle. Then we put the crochet hook on the right side of the thread, then go around from below to the left, wrap back to the right from the top. When we get to this position, we turn the needle vertically, the hour hand pointing to ourselves, then put it clockwise onto the line. Front left. Then we go around from the bottom to the right, wrap it back to the left, hook it back with this thread, straight out of this hole. Then the straight line needle lifting is ready. Next, let's hook 7 braid stitches. Let me show you how to hook the braid needle once. Put it on the upper left side of the line, wrap it from below to the right side, wrap back to the left from above. Take it straight out of here. This is a braid needle. You can take a look. Look, after the tick is checked. It also has 2 braids on the left and right to form a V shape. So what about we're in his... Down there, doesn't he have two pigtails when you hold it like this? We put a mark buckle on his single braid below. Let's take a look. The upper and lower braids of a single braid are marked with buckles. Then what's next? We'll hook 6 more pigtail stitches.
2, 3, 4, 5,
6. Let's take a look. Is there a total of 7 braids in this way? Look at 1 pair and 2 pairs. Hey, why are there only 6? 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair? 7.
Okay.
Let's see if it's 7 braids. 1 pair of 2 pair of 3.5 pair. Then we're at the 7th braid stitch. It's this braid on the right. We also button it up with a mark button. After you buckle it up, let's put this ring. Let's put this ring. Circle it. See, circle it. Hey, take it away. We are in the first position where we make the mark buckle. Do you see this position? This half root. The first place to make the mark buckle, this half stretches the crochet hook through. Okay, let's take the mark buckle off. It's too crowded. Remove the mark buckle. Here, stretch the needle over. Put this thread on top of the crochet hook. Make a drawing needle. Well, winding the thread and bringing it out directly after the extraction, we make a standing needle. Then you stretch out and hook a short needle on the half that you just pulled out. A short stitch, and then we make a mark buckle here on the first stitch. After it's done, we put every braid in the next. Well, now single braid, first braid up, single braid into needle. Hook a short needle. 2, 3, 4,
5,
6. Okay, let's come to the last one, which is the one we marked. We remove the mark buckle. Hook the 7th short stitch. After the 7th short needle is hooked, we also have to make a mark buckle because it belongs to the last stitch of the second circle. Then we do the same for the first stitch.
draw and pull.
Then make a standing needle. Then when we get here, we have to turn it over. Because we have to turn the front, right? Let's turn it over. Okay, this is the front. Then let's hook 7 short stitches. Insert the needle in the extraction position. 1. At this time, we will have normal braids and we will have normal hooks. 2. 3 people have to mark the first frame as well. Because it's a bit crowded for me to make a mark buckle, so it's not easy to show you. Then I won't do it here.
4, 5,
5. Okay, let's come to the 7th final frame. We remove the marker buckle. 7. Well, after the 7 stitches are hooked, we will do the same for the first stitch. That is to say, everyone makes the 7th buckle stitch and makes a twist. Next, we'll keep repeating this. Just keep repeating this action. Just hook 7 short stitches in each turn. All the way to what? Hooked until he almost happened to pull this. The length of the body of chickens and ducklings is fine. Well, I've hooked almost 38 rows here. Then you can use this body to draw while hooking. Is it almost like this? Hey, I hooked to row 38 here and I feel like it's almost done. Then I still do the same for the first stitch in the end. Do a lead and pull, and then you need to leave a long wire here to break the wire because we need to stitch it up to the front so that the thread can be pulled out. After we came out, we took out the cotton in the material bag. This little cotton, let's stuff a little bit in it. Just use the opposite side of this needle to plug it. It may not be very easy to plug it. Then we're going to stuff it up. Just stuff it up. Like a swelling swimming ring. That's fine. Then use this. The opposite side, just leave it for later use after stuffing it up. And after all our accessories are crocheted, let's do an assembly. First, we stitch it together with its body and head. Then we have already left threads on our bodies, huh? Well, let's close. The last lap is 18 stitches. So as soon as we aim for a stitch, we can do it. Look at this line. Here is the one that leads. Then let's find the one that leads the head. Then we start from the beginning. To the left of the paw. The first stitch goes through from the outside to the inside. Then this body is also the first stitch. We wear it from the inside out. This way.
Come through.
Then pull tight. Then fold it in half. And then every next stitch is like this. We wear the head from the outside to the inside. Then the body is pierced from the inside out. It is stitched up. After wearing it, we tighten it a little bit. Then repeat this action. One needle, the head from the outside to the inside. Body from the inside out. Stitch this head and body together. While we're stitching, it's best not to touch the cotton in the middle. The cotton has to be finished up in the end.
Trouble.
A total of 18 or 19 stitches is enough. For the last needle, let's make another needle at this position of extraction. At this position of extraction, we finally add a needle. In this way, our duckling's head and body are stitched together. After the stitching is done, we put this needle along this needle, follow this needle. Throw a few stitches. Pull it out gently, don't apply too hard. If you apply too hard, it will have a depression. Then find a hole nearby to wear it out. Then wear it back to the vicinity of the extraction. Then find a hole nearby and pierce it underneath. In this way, we can just cut the thread. If there is a thread, you can plug it, just tuck it in and you'll do it. Okay, so our duckling head and body will be well crocheted finish. Then let's take a look. This is the back. This is the front, right? Let's take that out again. Are you serious? Then let's have a look, okay? In the middle, we hold it like this, and we find a point in the middle. If I'm looking here, I'm looking here, then let's take a look. Let's start from the top. This duck is counted down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 90. It's exactly the place where I pricked it with a needle. Look at a pair of 2 pairs, of 3 pairs, of 4.5 pairs, just halfway between the 9th and 10th circles. It's the middle position. Let's go here from the position where I inserted the needle. 1, 2, 3, 3, and count 3 needles. Then this is also 1, 2, 3. Here, you see there are 6 stitches in the middle, right? Then this position where my needle is placed is the position where we want to fix the eyes. Then we use this glue directly for our eyes. Let's put a little glue on it with glue. Put them in the 6th to 7th rows. Stop. Hey, don't have too much, a little. Too much of his glue will easily come out. Just between the 9th and 10th rows. Glue the eyes. This needle is the same, this one is the same. Hey, this is a bit too much. You guys do less, don't do too much. If you do too much, the glue will easily leak and it will not look good. It looks like there are about 6 stitches between the eyes. Put your eyes. Fixed. After it's fixed, if he has a little glue leaking out here, pull it out after he's done. He just dropped it. Let's try not to leak the glue. Just got a little wavy. Hey, look at it. When it's dry, you rip it off. Just pull this dry glue and you can clean it up. After the eyes are fixed, take out our mouths. Where is the mouth fixed? The mouth is fixed in the row below the middle of our eyes. It's probably like the 10th to 11th rows. Let's take this opposite side of the mouth. We also apply a thin layer of glue, just a little less, not too much. Too much dew glue doesn't look good. Then I picked up this one that was stuck in the middle of the row below him. So his mouth is fixed. After fixing it, let's fix his face again. His face is in his eyes, which are almost flush with his mouth. This position is almost the same. This position is almost flush with his mouth. Then it's about a needle or two to his eye. That's all right here. Then let's glue the same on his back. Hey, stick it up. Let's fix the position first. It's probably this location here. Then compare it yourself. The location is almost the same. This way. Glue it. What about the face is just red and the cheeks are fixed? Well, if you want to be firm, you can add a little more glue to hold it in place. It doesn't matter. After fixing it, let's take out this wing. What about the wings? We stitched them. Take out the needle and put it in. Then let's take a look. It's probably under his face, see? Then this semicircle faces forward. Let's sew it up here, right here near the neck, a position. Let's get the needle from here. This way. Little ducks look like this. Another needle. Flip back. Just like this, we put its little wings. Stitch it up. Just make 2 or 3 stitches back and forth. It feels good. After the sewing is secured, let's put this needle penetration back. Wearing to the back. Wrap back to the back. Then do a long line on him. What about us? Or we can just put 2 stitches on the left and right. Then thread 2 needles along the needle eye. Then wear it down like this. So one of our little wings stitched up. The other wing is stitched in the same way, so I won't show you. Then we take out this corner that we hooked ahead of time. Sew it. Well, let's sew this corner between the 4th and 5th rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fine, that's the line, right? Hey, we are also in the middle of the position. We will be empty. The appearance of 2 needles, so let's compare the mouths. This is his front. Look at the front mouth, compare here. This position is probably right in the middle. Then let's take a look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we move a needle to the side and sew from here. That's probably this location. Let's sew this corner in. Stitch this stitching glue frame by frame. After sewing, this needle can be threaded back casually. One corner and then thread it back and we're still the same. Just disconnect the line and hide it. Next, let's go to this frog swimming ring. Make a stitch. Well, let's use this needle to stuff this thread into it. Then we match this up. Just sew this together with 1 stitch at 1 stitch. This is simpler. Well, 1 stitch left and 1 stitch right. Okay. It's still the same truth. This side goes through the outside, and the other side goes through the inside. Every stitch is the same. We'll make 6 or 7 stitches on this, and this circle will be finished. After sewing, we still hide the thread. To press a thread, then find a hole nearby. Put it in. Find a hole to pierce it out. You can wear it again. Generally, it will be very firm if you wear it like this 2 or 3 times. When we put it on, we disconnect the thread, and then we take out this. The frog's head hooked in advance. We sewed the frog's head onto this swimming ring. The position of the stitching, this one is facing backwards. Then we look straight ahead. It's about this position. Hey, we sew the frog's head on it. The methods of stitching are all similar. That is, we just don't sew it crooked. You can judge the approximate location yourself. As long as it's not crooked, you can sew it as you like. Because this frog's head didn't say Correspondingly, there are frame by frame. Just look at the approximate position and insert the needle. Just pick up the inside. After sewing, it's still the same thread wrapped. The same broken thread. Then we take out this pink thread, cut about 25 centimeters, and then divide it. Because this is 4 strands, let's divide it. Just 2 strands, and then we thread it inside the needle to stitch it up with the blush. Where is the location of his blush? Let's take a look at this one facing us, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's count the middle. Then this is right in the middle. Count 2 to the side. Then we are a blush here. We can make a mark here. Then it's the same here. You see just here, right? 1 or 2. Hey, we are here the position of the blush is probably where I insert the needle. Then let's see how to sew it. We insert the needle from behind, and then from where the needle just marked, you see. Take it here. After you get it, like sewing across. That is, wrap the needle mesh in the 4th row, and we sew a small fork. Then go to this side. You see this side is corresponding, and this one is the same. Also sew a small fork. Also sew a fork. After the fork here is sewn, let's take it from just now that you see where we put the needle in here. Here we also enter the needle from this place. Take this thread out and look at it. This is his 2 blushes. After bringing it out, we put these 2 threads. Broken. After it's broken, let's cut this thread. Stuffed in so he couldn't see it. Then we took out this little frog's ear. Just his little eyes here. So where do we fix his ears? Overhead, you see from the 2nd circle to 3 or 4. Fix the positions of the 3 circles of 2, 3, 4 on both sides of him. Then we're in this. Put a little glue on your ears. We still have to try not to use too much glue. Too much exposed glue will not look good. Still face yourself like this and then directly above. The ears are stuck. It's the same here. Put a little glue on. Then in the symmetrical position here, 2nd to 4th rows. Let's hook it up. After gluing it on, we finally took out his frog's little eyes stuck to this one of his boneless eyes are. A little glue, not too much. If there is too much, the glue will easily leak and it will not look good. The edge is right in the middle. What about the left?
It's the same.
Well, after our frog's eyes are fixed, we take out the black thread, take 15 to 20 centimeters. Then it is also divided into shares, but here we are divided into single shares. Just a single root is enough. Then we'll sew it. Just sew the base of his mouth. Then let's take a look at the position of the mouth. His mouth is in the blush row, that is the 4th row. Then the 3rd row shows a little bit here. Okay, let's see how to do it. Hey, let's insert the needle from behind. Insert the needle right here in the middle of this blush. Like a needle. Then watch. Find a location. Well, this mouth can be itself. How to do it specifically, in fact, you can adjust it yourself. This can be adjusted while sewing. Just sew out the mouth shape you like. That's it. Let's not pull too tightly. If you pull it too tightly, you see it's a little tight here. If you pull it too tightly, the thread will sink in and it won't look good. We can gently adjust it. Well, this shape. That's too tight. Let's just pull it off. In this way, the little frog's mouth is stitched. After the stitching is done, we are still on line. Then stuff the thread inside. So our frog swimming ring is ready. After it's done, we take out the ducklings we've made in advance. Squeeze its foot, squeeze it in from here. In this way, our doo-doo duck is finished crocheting. That's it for this video, so I'll see you next time.